Alright, so this video started out as a joke. Oh haha, is Pochita edible? Oh haha, power kinda looks like 02. But as I started to dig deeper and deeper into this disturbingly beautiful world of Chainsaw Man, I kept finding theories and suppositions that continued to get stranger and stranger than the last. With my favorite ones being, what happened to Chainsaw Man's missing chapter? And just what kind of devil contract has Kobeni been hiding from us? But before I talk about him, we gotta go back to the beginning. And about a month ago, I ran across this video titled, "Yes, you should eat your own Pokemon." And after watching it, I was like, I wonder if I could find something myself. And man, there is some wacky canon stuff out there. Heaps of it. But again, there's already videos on this topic. So I was like, what else is cute and edible? Oh, why don't I do Pochita? I could make an Is Pochita Edible video. And I decided not to only do the Pochita theory, but do a bunch of Chainsaw Man theories. So here's the same question but improved. What would Pochita taste like? And also, could you even capture and cook him? And we're gonna start out with the quote from the food theory real quick.
But remember, just because a Pokemon can produce milk doesn't mean it's the best Pokemon for producing milk.
And this line led me down a huge rabbit hole, but eventually it led to me thinking, what exactly makes food taste the way it does? And since JoJo lives in my mind rent-free, the first thing that came to mind was Misa's theory on human taste potential. And basically he says that all the meat we consider delicious is from herbivorous animals, which leads us to the conclusion humans would taste gross because they eat meat. Now I haven't had a human yet, but I have to wonder, was JoJo just being out of pocket? Or was the author of Rocky trying to hint at something? Some deeper meaning. Cause see, the thing is, when you look into his eyes for long enough, you can start to see some... Yeah, no, I just thought this would be funny. But here's the real question we gotta ask. What exactly does Pochita eat? Because that answer would tell us how he would taste. And I was lost with this one. There are only a few scenes to go off. The one where Denji feeds him some bread, and the one where Denji was laughing at a rat while eating food from a trash can. But overall, I think it's safe to assume that he wasn't eating crazy healthy. Because also, we gotta remember, here Denji says he's too hungry to sleep. But what about Pochita? Why isn't he saggy like Pyro's cat? It could mean that Pochita's got something else up his sleeve. But sadly though, I couldn't find anything to back that. But having that said, there was actually more to Misa's theory. Because here's the thing, people eat weird ass animals like frogs, alligators, and squid all the time. And those animals don't eat grass. But if we were to take a look at real frogs, for example, they eat snails, slugs, and worms. And despite that, people always say it tastes like chicken. Oh, it tastes like fish. And that's where the second part of Misa's theory of human taste potential comes in and acknowledges that, sure, animals that eat lots of meat are gonna taste bad, but in reality, animals don't always eat purely meat. There's often a spectrum of what they eat. In other words, animals pick up their flavors from their diet. And as you can imagine, an animal that is sick or eats trash like leftover Big Macs would taste like shit, while a grass-fed Kobeni who's only been fed healthy fats like peanuts and such would taste amazing. And if I were to plant Pochita on the graph, he'd probably go somewhere around here on the spectrum, meaning that he wouldn't taste amazing, but he would taste, pretty decent. His flavor would still be savable with some sauce. But wait, there's still an even bigger question. Could you actually catch Pochita? And before random guy Liam thinks to himself, I can catch a Pochita. No. This little man's got a chainsaw and he loves playing Operation. So here's a plan. We first got to get his overall size. His height was extremely easy to find, but I couldn't find the width. So I turned his height into a ruler and then found his dimension, which allowed me to see the size of the menace we're dealing with here. However, here's a real problem. His chainsaw is exactly 18.75 centimeters. And now this isn't insanely long, but imagine you're playing football, right? And the enemy hits you with a stiff arm. In that case, you still have a fighting chance to tackle the enemy. But what if his stiff arm was instead a chainsaw? That's what we're dealing with here. So how do we even get close enough to harm Pochita? We could just go full Americano on him, but not everyone's American, okay? We have to make the scenario universal. It had to be a street fight. You versus Pochita. And there are only 2 steps to the plan. Step 1, by any means, avoid the chainsaw. Well, no shit, right? But how do you even do that? How do you even get near a dog who has a chainsaw? He could give you the sharpest 360 fade you've ever seen. And he don't take PayPal. So this basically means that you would have to somehow get behind him. If you're able to do that, then maybe, just maybe, you might be able to knock him out. But dogs are fast as hell. He'd lap you. But actually, there ain't no way Pochita's slow ass is catching you. Look at the leg to body ratio. There's no way he's outrunning anybody with those legs. I think it's fair to assume that he's really slow. And let's be honest, the only jeans he can rock are some boot cuts. Is Zuffy fat shaming a dog? Yes. Pochita's probably only got 1 lap in him before he starts wheezing. Therefore, if we're assuming he's slow, once he tires, you should eventually be fast enough to get behind him and just brick him. As long as you know you're not 400 pounds. Another option could be to use long-range rock attacks. But let's be honest here, you're not hitting shit. So we've caught Pochita, now what? Well, here comes the best part. How will we cook up Pochita? And man, we can have Pochita jam and crackers, Pochita stew, baked Pochita in Alfredo pasta, Pochita all buttered up like a turkey. The possibilities are endless. Joy got my mouth watering. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm a simple man. I would just make me some Pochita with eggs, with maybe a bit of Chick-fil-A sauce. And so for the last and final question, is this ethical? The tomato devil. Just how were tomatoes able to conjure enough fear to appear as a devil? And the thing is, this was a question I was gonna completely scrap. But bro, I might have entered into the deepest rabbit hole of the day. And it all started with me looking at tomatoes, just staring at them. And that's when a question popped up in my head. What other fruit is bright red like that? Like, tomatoes just look dangerous, at least somewhat. So I was like, there's gotta be some sort of history behind tomatoes. There's no way there isn't. And that's when I ran into it. Lost tomato history. Although perfectly safe for consumption, it was believed that if a person ate a tomato, their blood would turn into acid and die. This myth was likely born when royalty would eat tomatoes and die suspiciously. And hearing this made me go, what a bunch of dumbasses. But I wonder if people are still afraid of tomatoes. No way, right? No way. And that's when I found out there's something called lycopersicopobia.
Lycopersicoophobia.
A phobia just for tomatoes. And the first thing that came to mind was, there's no way that there's an actual community, right? Well, that's the thing. There is literally a whole Reddit dedicated to tomato hate. And look at his feed here. An Ontario man actually called 911 after he got tomatoes on a chicken sandwich. Alright, so after scrolling through the Reddit, I had finally seen enough after witnessing a pic of a man who purchased a tomato pizza just to take the tomatoes off. That was too far for me. But the thing is, hell yeah, I can get on board with this. For example, if someone who likes mayo doesn't get mayo on their sandwich, it's not the end of the world. But if someone like me sees even a speck of mayo on my sandwich, I am gonna scrape off the cheese and destroy the bread in the process. And I don't know zesty shit. Every white sauce I've had has tasted nasty because of things like mayonnaise, sour cream, the horse sauce. Bro, no meal has gone unchecked for years, and I can't be the only one. Therefore, if we were to look at the tomato devil's strength and compare it to the world's hate for tomatoes, I'd say it might even be smaller than it should be. I still feel our DoorDasher is just gonna read, oh, you wanna know tomatoes? No mayo? You're so fucking picky. Fuck you. Proceeds to add mayo and tomatoes, or simply does it on accident, just as bad. But here's the thing, I don't accept accidents. That's my fair warning. But yeah, in the very end, it makes sense that people are afraid of tomatoes. But alright, since the fear of tomatoes was proven valid, I was interested in why the sea cucumber devil existed, which was a horrible idea. Because first of all, I thought someone's meat showed up as the first result, and then I click on the Google images, and I'm just like, yo, where the fuck the cucumbers at? And then to top it all off, look at this. After seeing that, I had to check if this was an animal or not, because I could not tell what's going on here. And it turns out that sea cucumbers are animals, not vegetables, which is strange, but I need to find out what made them actually terrifying. And that's when I decided to head over to YouTube. Another bad idea.
Its last-ditch effort is to squirt its toxic internal organs out its anus toward the predator to confuse and deter it.
All this video did was make me realize just how weird they look. But alright, after a while, I had finally found myself a lead. Sea cucumbers are actually a delicacy, and it turns out that they're so prized, so sought after, that people will risk their lives just to get a hold of one. There easily could be some shit going on behind the scenes, because finding a sea cucumber in the areas where they're located could easily pay someone's bills for months. It's like finding gold, and as expected, sea cucumbers are hunted illegally, and they are also being eaten to death. But the thing is, there's no real proof that there's anything menacing about them. But that's when I remember the sea cucumber never looked strong in the first place. Like, sure, she did get blindsided, but something tells me she wouldn't have done anything even if she was on guard. There was a hunter calling for backup right in front of her. So here's my theory. There's no way anybody's actually afraid of a sea cucumber, but the sea cucumber devil may not exist because of the animal, but instead maybe exists because of the process of collecting them. This theory might be a stretch, but I could totally see it being plausible. It validates the sea cucumber's low strength. But now this next topic is one you probably ain't hear about. The Chainsaw Man anime's missing scene. The question here is, what was the reason for removing a scene from the second chapter of Chainsaw Man? But before I can give you guys my theory, first I gotta get you guys up to date. So here's chapter 2 in a nutshell.
Hey Denji, you go save a girl and slaughter a devil. I'll let you feel something special.
Whoa. Wait, what's the point of retrieving my dream without Big Daddy Cheetah? What in the fuck?
No, don't kill him. I'll let you feel something special.
No way, girl. I still ain't received Makima's reward yet.
Wait, Makima? I actually know Makima. I could totally hook you up.
Wait, really?
Sounds like a deal, right?
I guess so. Huh? Sorry, I'm gonna eat you now.
Dance.
Quit messing with my heart.
Great job, doggy.
Makima, can I get my reward yet?
Oh, that was just a prank. The real reward is some udon.
You're kidding, right?
What, do you want it or not?
I'll eat that udon.
Great. Say
Yeah, but no, in reality, Makima was like,
okay, Denji, I don't want my noodles to get all soggy. You go kill the devil by yourself.
but I'm having udon too.
Did you forget? You're my pet. Only answer with yes or woof. Come on, the udon will get soggy. Off you go. What's your answer?
Yes, ma'am. What is this? Alright, so that explains Makima's dialogue, but this part is better by explaining. And there are 3 main points here. Denji still misses Pochita, and Denji was actually planning to run away with this girl until he realized that the devil took her over. And after he saves her, he forgets about running away. So now that you're all caught up, let me tell you, I could not tell why they removed this scene. And the first thing I thought was, maybe they thought the scene was unnecessary. Since later on, we still get to see Denji's character development. We still see how Denji misses Pochita. But on the other side, it's not like the muscle scene would have made the anime worse. And along with that, episode 2 was a pretty actionless episode. So they must have had a really good reason to remove the muscle scene. I was still lost though, because I remember there's a scene of Aki just cooking for 2 minutes, which further proves that they really must have had a good reason to remove the scene, since it's not like they ran out of time. But actually, they could have ran out of time. And this lead got me thinking, okay, well, if there's 24 minutes of Chainsaw Man per episode, what would happen if I push parts of episode 2 into episode 3 to make room for the muscle scene? Would there have been a difference? And that's when I found it. The muscle scene had to be removed. Episode 2 was a slow episode, so in order to finish the episode on a good note, they wanted to finish with Power going batshit. And they also had to keep the scenes where Denji meets Power and Aki. And the only way they could have done that is if they removed the muscle scene. Alright, so here's a strange one. You remember the scene where Aki's like... Now there could be tons of horrible things that they could have done to piss him off. For example, I recently ran into the toilet volcano prank. A prank where you feed your friend Taco Bell, and then on the next day, you put a bunch of baking soda and vinegar in the toilet so that the water explodes on them as they flush. If you thought that was bad, nah. The author Fujimoto said that they somehow managed to think of some even more vile, more disturbing. And basically, while this man was dreaming about Makima or something, that's when Denji and Power pull up and slap shit on his nose. And honestly, Aki should have used a sword for that one. Alright, so the next question is, who would win in a fight, Power or 02? And most of you guys may not notice, but midway through Chainsaw Man, Fujimoto decided to change her hair to blonde. Her hair used to be pink, which is why people used to compare and draw them together. And this randomly got me thinking, who would win in a fight, 02 or Power? And to make this fair, it had to be a fist fight because number 1, 02 moves as a duo, and number 2, she literally drives a robot. Alright, let's start with Power. Now the thing with Power is, she's extremely aggressive when she knows she can win the fight, but when things get rough, she is folding harder than 4 layers of belly fat. But if we look at 02 on the other hand, I'd say that her default vibe is pretty troublesome like Power. However though, whenever 02 gets mad, she gets mad. Like, I'll kill your whole family mad. And personally, I can't ever see Power getting mad like that. Also, people like to compare these characters a lot, but they are truly 2 different characters. You can even hear it in their voices.
Te falta una compañera, búscala. Y si no puedes encontrarla, entonces oblígala. ¡Digan humanos! ¡Póstrense ante mí! ¡Me llamo Power!
Okay, so in the end, Power does sound more aggressive, but I think the angry character wins in this one. Therefore, if they were naked, in a jail cell, and had to fight each other to the death, I'd put all my money on 02. I'd even say Power to get fucked up. I'm sorry, Power. Alright, so the next question is what kind of contract has Kobeni been hiding from us? And well, I did a little digging, and the first theory I came across states that Kobeni is actually contracted to the shit devil, which as you can assume, makes her life shit. But in return, she gets luck and strength when she truly needs it. And the backing behind this theory is that Kobeni has been caught drinking toilet water. But not only that, there's also the secret Chainsaw Man extra where Kobeni is found randomly running around with packs and packs of toilet paper, which is I don't know, that's pretty suspicious. But not only that Chainsaw Man extra also further proves that Kobeni could be contracted with some sort of sloppy toppy devil, which is I mean, it's totally possible. Now I have another theory, but real quick, let's take a good look at this woman here. This majestical woman, one could call her. And as we stare at her, it appears that she seems to be in a constant sweat, which has got me thinking she must be one hydrated motherfucker to be sweating that much, or she could be extremely dehydrated. Either works, but the point is, she looks constantly stressed out, making people believe she has a contract with anxiety devil. And the thing is, you can have anxiety about you having anxiety about you having anxiety. It would be an infinite loop. Therefore, this would mean that Kobeni could have a contract with the strongest devil there is. But honestly, I think there's a theory even more likely than that. The theory that she has a contract with the luck devil, which starts with Katana Man saying, what is she, a monkey? And the focus here is the word monkey, because in Japan, monkeys are believed to be messengers of God. They are also known to be symbols of good luck, because the Japanese word monkey, soru, has a lucky sound. Now, I do agree that the word soru does sound kind of lucky, but are monkeys really lucky though? Let me show y'all some. Look what I found here. City in Japan under siege by marauding monkeys. And for those like me who don't know how to English, the word marauding means engaged in raiding for plunder. Buddies were playing Clash of Clans, and not only did they attack people, but they specifically attacked children, babies, and elderly citizens. And look at this video. At any moment, he could just come through that joint and go full Mortal Kombat. Also, I could go further, but I think this line here sums it up.
I guess traps don't work because the monkeys are not interested in food. just violence.
At the end of the day though, this doesn't change the overall point that monkeys are lucky in Japan, which means that it's possible that Kobeni has a contract with luck. But just what kind of deal did she make? Because here's the thing, if she does have a contract with luck, then what did she give up to get her powers? For example, Himeno lets Ghost feed on her eye. Denji promised to show his dreams to Pochita. Aki's contract takes years off his life. But for Kobeni, she has no visible damage to her body, which could mean that her cost for luck and power when it matters is that she has to live out the rest of her life constantly unlucky. But simply the power of luck alone would literally make Kobeni almost an immortal being, an untouchable life form, beyond human reasoning, beyond human comprehension, beyond the chains that bind her down. In fact, she probably has her finger all around luck. Think about all the things you could do if you were just a bit luckier. If only you were a toxic white girl on Dr. Phil. If only you were born as the best gamer in the world. A question you may ask is, could Kobeni beat Makima? But no, the real question is, could Makima beat Kobeni? Nah, I'm just kidding though. Kobeni just gives the best sloppy toppy. Thanks for watching.